Hi, my name is Waleed Rashidi. I'm with Cal State Fullerton's Department of Communications. I'm here to talk to you about young adults' compact disc usage experiences in the year 2020. So I'd like to introduce the study by talking about what the media has said regarding CD usage and CD sales recently. There have been a few headlines that have been kind of telling when it comes to what's happening with the compact disc in current years. A report from just a couple years ago had the headline that said, "The compact disc era may finally be entering its hospice stage." And there have been two news reports in 2014 and 2018 using the headline that simply said, "RIP CD." The RIAA's 2020 mid-year report has noted that CD unit sales have been down by about 45% from the previous year. And that's not really a surprise given that CD sales peaked 20 years ago in the year 2000. So, of course, there have been a few factors involved as to why that has been the case. One is the availability of high-speed internet at homes, and also the preference in format usage changing from physical formats to file-based formats. So home users were able to download MP3s because they had the access and the availability with high-speed internet, and that became the format of choice, and more recently, of course, with streaming. And another thing is technology has changed over the years as well. Playback technologies, including devices like laptops. Apple has had its MacBook line for many years, and in 2008, Apple introduced the MacBook Air, which was its first MacBook model that did not have even an option to include an internal CD or DVD drive. The computer was so slim that it did not have enough of a profile to even put in a CD or DVD unit into the computer. And that's interesting in and of itself because a lot of other computers have kind of followed suit with that, and you started to see fewer and fewer computers being equipped with CD drives. So I mentioned earlier about how formats have changed, and another thing that really perhaps helped that format change includes the introduction of the iPod in 2001, which gave users an opportunity to store all their MP3s on an actual portable device. And of course, later streaming services, mobile phones having the ability to stream music media made a significant difference as well. And the RIAA's 2020 mid-year revenue statistics show that CDs are at about 35% of total physical sales, and CD sales only represent about 2.3% of overall recorded music revenue. So what I learned, though, is that still some young adults like to use CDs in the present year. And I was quite curious as to why are they using CDs when there are other options available. That has kind of spurred me into this particular study. So the purpose of this study is to examine current CD purchase and usage experiences of young adults ages 18 to 26. These are what we might call digital natives. And I have a couple questions that I'm looking at over here. First question is, why do young adults currently purchase and use new music CDs? And the second question is, do these young adults foresee themselves purchasing and using more new CDs in the future? A little more background on CDs. CDs surpassed vinyl record sales in 1988. And in-car CD players initially arrived in about 1985. But interestingly enough, recently there have been several major auto manufacturers that have started to eliminate CD players from their vehicles. Fiat Chrysler and Honda have ceased equipping cars with CD players. I recently bought a Volkswagen in 2019. It did not have a CD player available within the car stereo. Also, we've been noticing that vinyl LP and EP revenues have been higher than CD. This is also via the RIAA 2020 mid-year report. And there's been this trend of bundling physical music with other types of merchandise or tickets and whatnot. That's helped to increase some sales, or at least keep some sales going, of CDs and other types of physical media, and has also helped maybe part of the chart positions as well. Billboard has recently, as of July, addressed this via some rule changes that they have announced to better ensure that these bundled albums don't count towards sales charts or performances. So one of the lenses I'm using is the innovation diffusion theory from Rogers. And this particular theory helps to detail the stages in which technologies are adopted via 5 different categories, starting off at innovators and going through all the way to the end at laggards. And what I wanted to know is, are current young adult CD users considered to be the laggards in the music media marketplace? Or are they just merely being pragmatic about how they operate using available technology that's both proven and is available quite easily within the marketplace? So what I did is I engaged in an online study via Qualtrics. I used both quantitative and qualitative questions. And what I looked for were CD users and CD purchasers between the ages of 18 and 26. They were required to have purchased and played a CD within the last year. So sent out an email invite to students at a large Western university in the United States. And the particular questionnaire had anywhere between 11 and 13 questions. That depended on the skip logic that was programmed within the Qualtrics questionnaire. And 3 to 4 of those questions would be essay response questions in which they had to explain something in more detail. And 57 participants had responded, with the average age of the respondent being approximately 21.5 years. So taking a look at the results, I first wanted to find out where do they purchase these CDs. And the most popular purchase location happened to be Target. And after that, it was the artist's official online store. And then we also had Amazon. And some of the others included some unspecified online retailers. Some said directly from the ticketing company or ticketing agency in which they purchased their concert ticket. Likely that was part of a bundle. We also had Best Buy and directly at the concert venues as well, perhaps at the merchandise stand or merchandise tables or booths. And we also had Walmart too. The average participant owned approximately 29.98 CDs. I did ask them if they were foreseeing purchasing any kind of new CD within the next perhaps year, or I just said in the near future. And I had 5 different responses, which were either definitely yes, probably yes, not sure / neutral, probably no, or definitely no. And the top 3 responses happened to be definitely yes, then probably yes, then not sure / neutral. I also asked them where do they play their CDs, and the most common response was in the car. Also heard that the second common response was at home. A combination of both in-car and at home was the third most common response. And a couple of them said they don't usually play their CDs. The playback devices, I asked them what kind of devices do they actually play their CDs on. And again, most frequently I heard car. Also, I saw computer and portable stereo like a boombox, or the home stereo. Some of the other results included questions I asked like CD characteristic preferences. So I had a list of several different CD characteristics, and the participants were able to select which of these characteristics that they feel best fit the preferences as to why they use CDs. They could choose as many as they wished. So the top response was artwork, then part of a music collection, lyrics, interaction with a tangible recording, the fact that it lasts a long time, durability, affordability, sound quality, that they still own a CD player, and it's easy to use. I also had a list of various genres, popular music genres in the United States, and I asked them what kind of genres do they listen to on CD. And the most common was pop, followed by rock and hip hop, R&B, soundtracks, classical and Latin, EDM and religious. And then I also left a category available as other in case they wanted to fill in some other genres there. And 3 had indicated K-pop, which I will talk about a little bit later because that pops up as an interesting result. I also asked them what other formats they use besides compact discs. And almost all of them had said streaming services. 51 out of 52 responses to that question said streaming services. Also saw vinyl records, 22 MP3 files, cassettes, and 1 had indicated using FLAC files. So one of the questions asked, why did they purchase a new CD in the last year? And one of the categories within this includes supporting artists, that they really wanted to support their favorite artists, so they purchased a CD. Another one was collections or display. They like to have items that they can put on display and show, or perhaps just have items that they can collect and they can see. Some of the other categories of responses to that particular question include gifts. They were buying a gift for a friend that likes to use their old Walkman. It was part of a bundle, so the CD came with a concert ticket that I purchased, as a quote here. There was extra content on the CD. There was bonus content, for example, bonus tracks that were only available on the CD version, or perhaps other types of artwork and things of that nature that were additional content. I also saw things like signings. I wanted a copy of a CD so I could go and get it signed by the artist. And then there were quite a few responses regarding car playback, that my car can only play CDs, or I can't connect my phone to my car's stereo, so that's why I use CDs. So another question that was asked is, why do they currently own and play CDs? And you'll see some similar responses over here in the categorizations, including car playback. A quote over here, sometimes I don't feel like setting up my phone to use Spotify in my car. I have a bunch of CDs so I can listen to whatever I want. Nostalgia came up, which I thought was interesting. So there are quite a few quotes regarding that, including this one that says, it feels nostalgic. It really takes me back to the early 2000s when the CDs ruled. And there was another category, which again paralleled the previous question, display or collection. I think CDs are more like a collector's item now, just like vinyl records are becoming a collector's piece. So another question was asked, which was, why are they expected to purchase new CDs in the near future? These were the participants that had selected either definitely yes or probably yes, that they would purchase a new CD in the near future. And so there are several categorizations here, including artist support and preference, again, that they are supporting the artist. And this one says, now more than ever, it's one of the best ways to support an artist, especially since tours are on hold, canceled, or postponed. This is due to COVID-19. Another one, again, collection or display. I like collecting them and seeing them as memories in time when they're stacked up in my room after I switch them out. The tangible format, the ability to just hold that physical copy, that book. You know, the quote here, partial quote says, it gives me joy just looking at them here. And then we also have the bonus tracks and the content that was mentioned earlier. So there's also a question asked, which was, why are they not expected to purchase new CDs in the near future? And this question went to those who had selected either probably not or definitely not in terms of purchasing new CDs in the near future. I only had really 2 categories that emerged from this, including that they like to stream music instead, and the playback device. They just don't have access to that particular playback device, a CD player, anymore. And looking at the discussion section now, I've been able to categorize these into 5 primary themes. And in response to RQ1, which is why do young adults currently purchase and use new music CDs? The first one is supplementary content. The opportunity to receive bonus tracks or material via specifically the CD format. They enjoy the tangible content that they receive that they could not be delivered via a streaming service. The second theme is reminiscent qualities, the opportunity for them to rely on their childhood memories or perhaps any kind of nostalgic qualities that they had in using CDs. And it gives them kind of a reference point for those earlier years and allows them to reminisce a little bit in kind of a remember when situation. There are three other themes, including pragmatic value. It's a reliable technology. It's still usable. Some had said that they don't have good data reception with their cell phones, or they just don't have a very good data plan, and so therefore they use CDs because they don't want to constantly stream. So it's an opportunity for them to use CDs in their cars. Cars happen to be a very popular place in which they are listening to CDs, so that location of CD playback really kind of plays in nicely with this. And the issue, of course, is that these items are still usable. The car stereo still works and the car still works. The fourth theme is artist loyalty, and we saw some of this earlier, where they want to support the artist, so they buy that product from the artist. And they feel like owning that product is helping to support the artist and maybe helps them enhance their identification with the artist. They may feel perhaps a little closer to their favorite artist because they have now supported them through that purchase. So it helps express approval of the artist by showcasing that collection of products and memorabilia that they put up there on their shelf or perhaps on their bookcase or whatever it may be. And the fifth one is purchase intention. And that's where the CD was a required purchase as part of a larger overall bundle. So this particular participant or these participants here have found that in order for them to purchase, let's say, a particular piece of merchandise or perhaps a concert ticket, they had to buy the entire bundle, which included the CD. So their intention was to buy that other piece of merchandise or perhaps the concert ticket, but through that intention of wanting to purchase something else, the CD came along with it. So they are more or less obligated to make a purchase that contained a CD to obtain another item. So addressing RQ2, which was, do these young adults foresee themselves purchasing and using more new CDs in the future? It's more likely than not that they will be purchasing more new CDs in the near future. Again, items like including special artwork or bonus tracks that help stimulate desire. And they like to have the CDs to put up for display or for artist signings or because it was part of a more substantial purchase. So to address the question as to whether or not these particular participants would be classified as laggards, I find that no, they are not necessarily laggards here. That the CD supplements their other technology that they're using. And they're using newer technology like streaming or perhaps MP3 file playback and things of that nature. So the CD is kind of an addition to that, but they are definitely with the times in that sense. But some of them are just trying to be pragmatic by using CDs in their cars that happen to be equipped with CD players. So this study does not attempt to predict the CD format's longevity. I'm looking at a very specific population of young adults who are interested in purchasing and playing CDs in the year 2020, or at least have done so. And I just wanted to know why they were doing so. Of course, as K-pop grows in the US, that has had an influence on CD sales and use. And that could be something else worth examining in a separate study, perhaps. There have been media reports of K-pop's influence of CD sales that seem to kind of support what the participants have been saying as far as their purchase reasons and decisions. Another thing could be perhaps conducting in-depth interviews with participants, especially young adults, who are engaging in CD sales and CD purchases, I should say, and CD usage, and find out a little bit more as to why they are collecting, how are they displaying, and perhaps if audio fidelity has any kind of connection to why they are doing what they're doing when it comes to purchasing and playing CDs. I did not find out why young adults had not used CDs in the present. So that might be another study right there, is figuring out, okay, well, why are young adults not engaging in that? And perhaps trying to figure out, okay, what percentage or what ratio of young adults are using CDs versus not using CDs. and again, perhaps get the reasons as to why CDs may be falling out of favor with young adults. And lastly, who might benefit from this study? Well, record labels, distributors, retailers, and even musicians, and wanting to know perhaps if they're going to be putting out CDs, why they are doing so, and what young consumers and young adult consumers specifically are looking for from CD purchases and why they continue to engage with the format. And lastly, I just have some references I'd like to share with you as well, and I'd like to thank you very much for listening to my presentation, and I hope you found it to be interesting and enjoyable.